يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على فاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها بعدد ما أحاط به علمك. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم ولن أعداهم. عن فاطمة الزهراء عليه السلام بنت رسول الله قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام وقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة، فقلت عليك السلام. قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا، فقلت له أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف. فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به، فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وسرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن عليه السلام قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن عليه السلام نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله، أتعزن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوزي قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين عليه السلام قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت عليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين عليه السلام نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه. السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، أتعزن لي أن أكون معكما تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت عليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي عليه السلام نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتعزن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسيي وخليفتي وصاحب لواء، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت والسلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتعزن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد أذنت لك فدخلت تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على محمد. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ بي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم والسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. وقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا رب ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل يا رب أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ وقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تعزن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله، إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. وقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا. ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذا والله فزنا وفاد شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله: يا علي والذي بعثني حق بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، وفيهم محموم إلا وفرج الله حما، ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غما، ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا، وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. رحم الله من يكره الفاتحة. بسم الله.
And I'm truly obliged and welcome the father of our beloved Muntazir Bhai and Fayaz Bhai, who's is a legendary reciter himself, and I think he's just traveled long distance today to join us, and we're blessed with his presence. Still not tired and looks fresh, mashallah. Iltimas hai dua par Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Muhammad sallallahu Muhammad. Um, For Imam Taqi, I'll just recite a few qat'at that Ullah Senda and I intend reciting, with your permission, a qasida for Imam Ali, because his birthday, or our Father's Day, is just around the corner, 2 days from now. میرے خدا میری قسمت میں ہر خوشی لکھنا، میرے خدا میری قسمت میں ہر خوشی لکھنا، مجھے بھی آ گیا کاغذ پہ یا تقی لکھنا. بلائیں جب در و دیوار سے لپٹ جائیں، بلائیں جب در و دیوار سے لپٹ جائیں، تو اشک درد سے مشکل کشا تقی لکھنا. بس ایک بار جو مانگا تھا تیری چوکھٹ سے، بس ایک بار جو مانگا تھا تیری چوکھٹ سے، اب اس کے بعد کسی کو کہاں سخی لکھنا. اور ڈرا نہ پائیں مجھے ظلمتیں زمانے کی، تمہارے نام سے آتا ہے روشنی لکھنا. اور جو چند لمحے گزارے تقی کی مدحت میں، جو چند لمحے گزارے تقی کی مدحت میں، میری حیات میں بس ان کو زندگی لکھنا. اور تیرے ہی در کے بھکاری ہیں ثاقب و بوذر، تیرے ہی در کے بھکاری ہیں ثاقب و بوذر، زباں پہ فرض ہے مدحت کی چاشنی لکھنا. میرے خدا میری قسمت میں ہر خوشی لکھنا، مجھے بھی آ گیا کاغذ پہ یا تقی لکھنا. درود. صلی علی محمد و آل محمد. This qasida is quite old, it's close to my heart, but you might have heard before. I'll try to do justice. بے کسوں کے مددگار مولا علی، بے کسوں کے مددگار مولا علی، جز تیرے کوئی اپنا سہارا نہیں، تیرا در چھوڑ کر جائیں آخر کہاں، تیرا در چھوڑ کر جائیں آخر کہاں، غیر کا در جبیں کو گوارا نہیں، جو علی کا نہیں وہ نبی کا نہیں، جو نبی کا نہیں وہ خدا کا نہیں، جو علی کا نہیں وہ نبی کا نہیں، جو نبی کا نہیں وہ خدا کا نہیں، اے مسلمان اصحاب سے پوچھ لے، کیا یہ خم نبی نے پکارا نہیں، آئے کعبے میں جس دم علی کے قدم، منہ کے بل گر پڑے بت یہ کہتے ہوئے، آئے کعبے میں جس دم علی کے قدم، منہ کے بل گر پڑے بت یہ کہتے ہوئے، آئیے آئیے جانشین نبی، یہ تمہارا ہی گھر ہے ہمارا نہیں، یا علی آئیے آئیے یہ تمہارا ہی گھر ہے ہمارا نہیں، کل ایمان تو کل اسلام تو، دین کی رگ رگ میں ہے صرف تیرا لہو، جنگ خیبر ہو خندق کے بدر و احد، کون سی جنگ میں کفر ہارا نہیں، کون سی جنگ میں کفر ہارا نہیں، اور حاصل کلام شعر یقین جان آپ کو پسند آئے گا، وہ تو کم ظرف ہے جو تجھے چھوڑ دے، ورنہ مولا علی تیری تعظیم کو، وہ تو کم ظرف ہے جو تجھے چھوڑ دے، ورنہ مولا علی تیری تعظیم کو، جو پلٹ کر نہ آئے وہ سورج نہیں، جو پلٹ کر نہ آئے وہ سورج نہیں، جو نہ چوکھٹ کو چومے وہ تارا نہیں، نعرہ حیدری، جو پلٹ کر نہ آئے وہ سورج نہیں، جو نہ چوکھٹ کو چومے وہ تارا نہیں، عمر بھر یوں ہی بھٹکے گا نادان وہ، اس کو منزل میسر نہ ہوگی کبھی، جس کے دل میں محبت علی کی نہیں، اس کی کشتی کا کوئی کنارہ نہیں، یا علی مشکل کشا، جس کی دل میں محبت علی کی نہیں، اس کی کشتی کا کوئی کنارہ نہیں، اور یہ آپ ہم سب کے لیے، لاکھ طوفان آئے مجھے غم نہیں، جو ہمارا عقیدہ ہے، لاکھ طوفان آئے مجھے غم نہیں، میرے ہونٹوں پہ ہے ورد ناد علی، لاکھ طوفان آئے مجھے غم نہیں، میرے ہونٹوں پہ ہے ورد ناد علی، جو ڈبو دے بھور میں سفینہ میرا، ایسا کوئی بھی طوفان کا دھارا نہیں۔ اور پہلے تاریخ خیبر کی پڑھ لیجئے، پھر کوئی آخری فیصلہ دیجئے۔ پہلے تاریخ خیبر کی پڑھ لیجئے، پھر کوئی آخری فیصلہ دیجئے۔ یا یہ کہنا پیمبر بھی تھے بدعتی، نعوذ باللہ، یا یہ کہنا پیمبر بھی ہیں بدعتی، یا یہ کہنا علی کو پکارا نہیں، یا علی، یا یہ کہنا علی کو پکارا نہیں۔ آ رہی ہے یہ مرحب کی اب تک صدا، جز علی گر کوئی فوج اسلام میں، آ رہی ہے یہ مرحب کی اب تک صدا، جز علی گر کوئی فوج اسلام میں، غیر کرار و فرار و جرار تھا، جنگ خیبر میں کیوں تیر مارا نہیں، جنگ خیبر میں کیوں تیر مارا نہیں۔ جان خندق میں کیسے مسلمان تھے، تانائے کفر چپ چاپ سنتے رہے، جان خندق میں کیسے مسلمان تھے، تانائے کفر چپ چاپ سنتے رہے، سب کے پہلو میں تلواریں موجود تھیں، امر کا سر کسی نے اتارا نہیں، سب کے پہلو میں در برمود عالم محمد صلوات، امر کا سر کسی نے اتارا نہیں۔ اور یہ دعا ہم سب کی طرف سے آخری بند۔ یا تو روزے پہ بلوا لو شاہ نجف، یا ہو بالی پہ مجھ کو یہاں دیدنی، یا تو روزے پہ بلوا لو شاہ نجف، یا تو بالی پہ مجھ کو ہو یہاں دیدنی، آ رہی ہے ہر ایک سانس سے یہ صدا، اب جدائی رضا کو گوارا نہیں، بے کسوں کے مددگار مولا علی، جز تیرے کوئی اپنا سہارا نہیں، تیرا در چھوڑ کر جائیں آخر کہاں، غیر کا گھر جبیں کو گوارا نہیں۔ محمد علیہ محمد صلوات۔
قربان میں ان کی بخشش کے، قربان میں ان کی بخشش کے، مقصد بھی زباں پر آیا نہیں، بن مانگے دیا اور اتنا دیا، دامن میں ہمارے سمایا نہیں،
بن مانگے دیا اور اتنا دیا، دل بھر گئے منگتے سے لیکن دین سے تیری نیت نہ بھری، دل بھر گئے منگتے سے لیکن دین سے تیری نیت نہ بھری، جو آیا اسے بھر بھر کے دیا، جو آیا اسے بھر بھر کے دیا، مرحوم کوئی لوٹایا نہیں، بن مانگے دیا اور اتنا دیا، خورشید قیامت کی تابش مانا کہ قیامت ہی ہوگی، خورشید قیامت کی تابش مانا کہ قیامت ہی ہوگی، ہم ان کے گھبرائے کیوں، ہم ان کے گھبرائے کیوں، کیا ہم پہ نبی کا سایہ نہیں، بن مانگے دیا اور اتنا دیا، رحمت کا بھرم بھی تم سے ہے، شفقت کا بھرم بھی تم سے ہے، رحمت کا بھرم بھی تم سے ہے، شفقت کا بھرم بھی تم سے ہے، وہ اور ہے جو ٹھکراتے ہیں، وہ اور ہے جو ٹھکراتے ہیں، تم نے تو کبھی ٹھکرایا نہیں، بن مانگے دیا اور اتنا دیا، ایمان ملا ان کے صدقے، قرآن ملا ان کے صدقے، ایمان ملا ان کے صدقے، قرآن ملا ان کے صدقے، رحمان ملا ان کے صدقے، رحمان ملا ان کے صدقے، وہ کیا ہے جو ہم نے پایا نہیں، بن مانگے دیا اور اتنا دیا، وہ رحمت کیسی رحمت ہے، مرحوم سمجھ لو رحمت کا، وہ رحمت کیسی رحمت ہے، مرحوم سمجھ لو رحمت کا، اس کو بھی گلے سے لگایا ہے، اس کو بھی گلے سے لگایا ہے، جسے اپنا کسی نے بنایا نہیں، بن مانگے دیا اور اتنا دیا، دامن میں ہمارے سمایا نہیں، قربان میں ان کی بخشش کے، مقصد بھی زباں پر آیا نہیں، بن مانگے دیا اور اتنا دیا۔ بڑے سے بلند صلوات۔
محمد خدا محمد عیسیٰ موسیٰ ابراہیم و اسماعیل نوح و خضر یعقوب و یوسف سب نے پکارا علی 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 میری زباں پہ پہلے ہے خدا 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 کے بعد میرے لب پہ ہے ثنائے مصطفیٰ، نبی محترم کے بعد مدح شیر کبریا، خدائے ذوالجلال سے ملی ہے جن کو برتری، علی 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 خدا کا وہ سفیر ہے، رسول کا وزیر ہے، وہ اولیاء کا پیر ہے، وہ سب کا دستگیر ہے، دعائے جبرائیل ہے، وہ جوشن کبیر ہے، وہ سب کا غم گسار ہے، ہو شافعی کے حنبلی، علی 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 دلوں میں ہے، نظر میں ہے، شبوں میں ہے، سحر میں ہے، ادب کی منزلوں میں ہے، قیام میں سفر میں ہے، فضا میں ہے، گھٹا میں ہے، نجوم میں कमर में है, उसी से दिन को रोशनी, उसी से शब को चांदनी। अली 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 अफजल सलाम मुहम्मद वाले मुहम्मद।
Loud now, Surat Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بفضل الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين ثم الصلاة والتم التسليم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء. أما بعد فقد ورد عن إمامنا محمد بن علي الجواد التقي سلام الله عليه أنه قال: المؤمن يحتاج إلى توفيق من الله وواعظ من نفسه وقبول من ينصحه. To hasten the reappearance of our 12th Imam, sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Respected mu'mineen, mu'minat, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I would like to start our lecture in our program, or this section of the program, by first, on behalf of myself and everybody here, to extend our warmest congratulations and expressions of felicitations to the Imam of our time, Al-Imam Al-Hujjah, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Muhammad. On the annual anniversary of the birth of his great-grandfather, Al-Imam Al-Jawad Salamullah alayhi, who, according to the famous opinion, was born on the 10th of Rajab in the year 195 AH, when Imam Al-Rida Salamullahi alayhi was at an elderly age. And when the people started to doubt, there were certain people who had animosity towards Ahlul Bayt Salamullahi alayhim, and they would actually spread fitnas in order to say that there is no true imama in this household, because any true imam will have an inheritor. And based on that, they were trying to spread doubts about the imama of Imam Rida Salamullahi alayhi, and the fact that Imam would continue. As a result, it was a period of time in which different different Waqifi madhahib had appeared. A Waqifi madhab is a madhab that stops at a certain Imam. Amongst the Waqifi madhahib that existed at that time was unfortunately a trend that was started by some of the Wukala of Imam al-Kadhim salamullahi alayhi, who after the martyrdom of Imam al-Kadhim alayhi salam, because of the fact that they had a huge amount of money, of homes, of huquq shar'iyya belonging to the Imam, they started to spread lies that Imam al-Kadhim has no Imam after him, no inheritor after him. And they started to dispute with Imam al-Rida salamullahi alayhi. As a result, they were told that if you are looking for money, keep the money. The Imam alayhi salam got very upset with such wukala who all of a sudden had turned. Of course, it's important to know that wukala had different levels. There were certain wukala who were extremely, what's the exact word to use? This level of wukala would be those people who would constantly travel. So they would carry this amana of huquq shar'iyya with them from those cities that they travel from. They would carry it to the Ma'soom salamullah alayhi. There were certain wukala, no. These are representatives of the Imam at a higher level. So if you have masail ilmiya, you've got a fatwa to ask. You've got other questions you want to ask, other forms of guidance, you go to that level of wukala. So most probably that it was the second tier of wukala maybe who actually turned around. In all cases, in this riwayah that I just quoted in my khutbah, our ninth Imam salamullahi alayhi, he explains that a mu'min in his life needs for them to be successful in life the tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you success, to prepare the variables, the factors, the things in life that will lead to your success. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but whenever I go to ziyarat, whenever I think all of you must have seen this as well, and you're looking, you find people there in the shrines that you would not expect. If it were to be outside in life where you live, it would be a very long time between for you to be able to meet such persons, such people, because it would take so much planning. Sometimes it could be your own relatives, right? You live in one part of the world, they live in another part. All of a sudden you have the tawfiq to go to ziyarah, you find them there. You say, oh, subhanallah, this was very unplanned. I don't know if some of you have experienced that. I have experienced that a lot. Now, this is one form, or one way in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually plans this, inspires sometimes people that, go to ziyarah. You feel that urge, that longing for the Ma'soom. And this is but one example. In many a time, you'll find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protecting you from some things that you totally did not have any control over. But subhanAllah, you find yourself protected. So you need this tawfiq, this special gift of success, this help from Allah. The second being what? وَوَاعِظٌ مِّن نَفْسِهِ. That for a person to be successful in life, they need a constant advisor from their own heart. You should be your own advisor, admonisher. I have to try to constantly work towards that which pleases Allah, that which pleases the Imam of my time. This is what I need to do. Oh, I'm making a mistake here. Or I'm trying to do something good and I should do more of it. So this should be awake. This should not be sleeping. When it's sleeping and you are, God forbid, or I am, any one of us is committing a sin and continuously doing so without that call from inside, that person's heart is dead. They may not be successful, according to the Imam. Finally, وَقَبُولٍ مِّن مَّن يَنصَحُهُ. we also need to accept the advice of somebody who gives us advice. Not the fact that, somebody sometimes may come to give you some advice, this thing maybe you could have done it in another way. Not for us to say, no, we shouldn't be haughty and arrogant in that way. On the contrary, we should be open to accepting other people's perspectives and opinions, because we would learn from them. We have many narrations that also emphasize on this. Man shawara al-rijal sharakaha fi uquliha, that the person who seeks counsel and advice from others will be participating, and he will be partaking in benefiting from their brains, from their minds. You will be benefiting from their intellect, from their experience. Coming back to the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, this is one gem that we can learn from. Our Imam alayhi salam formed in what my teacher would divide the periods of the lives of the Imams alayhi salam into three. Or actually currently this is the fourth. The first from Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen Salamullahi alayhi, up to Imam al-Hussein Salamullahi alayhi. The second from Imam Sajjad alayhi salam up until Imam al-Rida Salamullahi alayhi. The third from Imam Muhammad al-Jawad al-Taqi up until al-Ghayb al-Sughra ended. Finally, we have al-Ghayb al-Kubra onwards. This will, inshallah, this would be the fourth era. Now, there were certain features that categorized or that were prominent in the third, from the very beginning of the third period of Imams, that were not seen before that. And these were partially in order to prepare us for the Ghaibah. Our ninth Imam Salamullahi alayhi became an Imam at 8 years of age. At 8 years of age. Younger than anybody who's sitting here. 8 years of age. Imagine something like this. How strange would it be for the Shias, especially those of Shias maybe who be elderly, etc., to in their heart submit to this fact. It would be something new. It was also, unfortunately, something that the enemies of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam tried to use against them. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wa tawfiq min Allah, in that narration, there were special favors from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that nobody could deny, and that led to all of that going away. So he became an Imam at 8 years of age, after the martyrdom of Imam Rida sallallahu alayhi. His Imamah lasted for 17 years, whereby our Imam alayhi salam, he was martyred at the age of 25. So he was the youngest Imam to pass away at 25. His Imamah lasted for 17 years. Amongst the things that distinguished the life of our Imam alayhi salam was the many debates that he had. Many of these debates would actually happen in the courts of the Abbasids, who would constantly try to kind of overcome the Imam in a certain way, or kind of show the Imam in a light that he doesn't have knowledge. So they would kind of plot against him. They would bring scholars from different madhahib, from different orientations, in order to debate the Imam. And inshallah, I'll quote one of these debates. Amongst the main methods in which our Imam Salamullahi alayhi communicated with the Shia was not just direct contact with the Shia, because at this point it is important to understand that there was constant surveillance, spying against the Imam. Imam was under constant surveillance. As a result, it was not possible for the Imam to be able to meet the Shias freely. Now, in Medina, he did have a certain relative level of freedom because he spent his imama or his life in general in Medina. However, he was martyred in Baghdad. In all cases, during this period, our Imam alayhi salam, other than the direct manner, the more prevalent manner in which he would communicate with the Shias was actually letters. So the Imam was actually teaching the Shias. This was a manner of training Shias to prepare for the ghaiba. Okay? To prepare us for the ghaiba. During this period, approximately 60 years later, 50 years later, the ghaiba is going to happen. We need to prepare ourselves, even psychologically, methodologically, how to communicate with the Imam. So if we look at our books of narrations of riwayat, there are many tawaqiyah. These are called tawqiyat or tawaqiyah. Letters that the Imam ﷺ used to write in response to letters which have questions. So the Imam would write the answer on the same letter and send. Interestingly enough, even this is a custom that you may also find in the offices of the Maraja today. And we, for example, when we send questions to the office of Agha Sistani, in the majority of cases, what happens is that they respond, they write the response on the very same letter. And sometimes to even add further emphasis, what they do is that to ensure that you know this comes from the office, they handwrite the answer on the letter itself, underneath the question, and then they stamp it. So you know that this is from the office of Agha. Hafidhahullah. So our Imam alayhi salam, according to these narrations, he was born on the 10th. Other narrations, they mention that the Imam alayhi salam was born actually in the holy month of Ramadan. There are many narrations for that as well. Amongst his children were Imam Ali ibn Muhammad al-Naqi al-Hadi, salamullah alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And his full brother, the brother of our 10th Imam, Musa al-Mubarqa, who is buried in Qom. The Imam alayhi salam also had daughters, and amongst the daughters were called, he had al-Fadl, Sumana, and there are others as well who were also ascribed to the Imam. Sorry, al-Fadl and Sumana were the wives of the Imam alayhi salam. Amongst his daughters were Kulthum, Fatima, Hakima, Khadija, Umama. These were some of the daughters of the Imam, amongst the daughters of the Imam salamullah alayhi. Now, the Imam alayhi salam, his birth, one thing for us to know is that reference to the Imam alayhi salam, it started even before his birth. How is an Imam known to be an Imam? You have in the Shia world at that time the child of Imam Rida salamullah alayhi, apparently a child, 8 years of age, being presented as being the Imam. What was the custom of the Shias in discerning who is the truthful Imam? In general, there were two main ways. These were the two codes that the Shia used to look for, the two signs. Number one, they would look at what the Imam before this Imam said. Has he mentioned that so and so is the Imam? We find yes. Imam al-Rida salamullahi alayhi mentioned his son Imam al-Taqi alayhi salam as being the Imam before his birth, when he was born, when he was still a child as well, and before his martyrdom. And there are many narrations that are categorized into these 4 times. So he mentioned him a lot. Before his birth was especially during the time in which the people were doubting that he is the Imam and there's going to be an Imam after. With that being said, when Imam al-Jawad was born, Salamullah alayhi, Imam al-Rida alayhi salam said that this is a boy, a child that has been born, that there is no other birth or child born who will have more of blessings for my Shia, for our Shia. Who is أعظم بركة على الشيعة منه. Whose blessings will be more upon the Shia. Why? Because through his birth, he was able to silence those people who were doubting the Imam, saying that no, he is going to be the Imam alayhi salam. However, one thing for us to note is that even though he was born, unfortunately, not everybody accepted that this was a child of Imam Rida sallallahu alayhi. Even some of Banu Hashim, they weren't accepting this is the son of Imam Rida alayhi salam. How audacious can a person be to come to tell the Imam that this is not your child, and the Imam saying this is my child? This is something that Imam Rida alayhi salam faced, that we unfortunately may not know about, but this is something that he faced. To the extent that during that time, amongst the Arabs, there was a custom that there was a kind of practice whereby they would look at your feet and the feet of your parents, and then they would determine based on the shape of your feet whether that is your parent or not. There was this custom, all right? And today, for example, if you were to just compare, if you look at the shape of your hands, your fingers, and your nails, you'll find it to be very close to your parents, right? Whether your fingers are long or not, your nails, whatever. Now everybody will start to look at their nails and then think about their fathers. So, khair. I do that at home. What happened is that Imam Rida salamullah alayhi, his uncles came to him. And they were doubting this. Especially why? Because the mother of Imam al-Jawad salamullah alayhi, according to some narrations, many narrations, she was from modern day Sudan. Right? So she had a dark skin complexion. And our Imam alayhi salam was brown skinned. Okay? A bit similar to us. Now, as a result, they did not, the uncles especially, for example, they didn't accept this. They didn't accept that he was truly the son of Muhammad alayhi salam. So as a result, the Imam alayhi salam, when they came to him, they told him that, listen, we're going to call this a person who practices this. He said, no problem, cool. Now, Imam alayhi salam, Imam Rida was in a bustan, was in an orchard of his. And Imam al-Jawad, Imam al-Taqi alayhi salam was in the orchard. So, but they were not sitting next to each other or whatever, or Imam wasn't calling him, oh my son or whatever. They were just sitting at two different places in the orchard. The uncles, they bring this guy. So he came inside. They told him, listen, look at that boy. And look at the people in this orchard. Is he the son of anyone over here? So he looked and he contemplated at the feet of Imam al-Jawad salamullah alayhi and everything. And then he went to see the feet of the people who were there in the orchard, including Imam Rida alayhi salam. So then he told them, yes, this child is the son of this man, confirming that. And then they were satisfied. I mean, how foolish. You're not satisfied with what the Imam Masum is telling you, but you're satisfied with these kind of funny practices. Unfortunately, some people, their mentality. In all cases, there were two. The first is the saying, the riwayah from the Imam alayhi salam. The second is miracles. Is miracles from who? From the Imam al-Masum. And the custom, especially of the Shia scholars, was to ask masail, questions. Their customs was to ask questions. Marhum Sayyid al-Burjadi rahmatullah alayhi, when the marja in Qum before him, if I'm not mistaken, maybe I think Sheikh Abdul Karim al-Ha'iri passed away, was the marja of Qum at the time, if my memory serves me well. When the time of Sayyid al-Burjadi came, who by the way passed away in 1960, so when his time came, when he presented his marja'iyya in Qum after Sheikh Abdul Karim al-Ha'iri, the mujtahideen over there, what they did is that they sent a number of narrations with jumbled chains. They cut the chain from, they mixed it up and they sent it to him. And then they asked him, please, can you verify these chains and the narrations, etc.? This is why, in order to see that does Sayyid al-Burjadi rahmatullah alayh, is he well versed in the science of biographies and biographies of the narrators? Is he well versed in narrations, etc.? So of course Sayyid al-Burjadi, he arranged all of the chains properly and which narration belongs to which chain, etc. And then he sent it to them. And then that's how they accepted that. Okay, he is a mujtahid, a marja, he's very specialized, etc. And we accept him to be the marja. Now, with respect to our imams, alayhi salam, normally what would happen is that they would come to ask masail, they would come to ask questions. This was one form of test. Sometimes the imam, alayhi salam, would start and initiate by doing miracles, other types of miracles. The first type of miracles is access to ilm al-ghayb, the knowledge of the unseen. The other would be actually to carry out miracles. And I'll mention both of these as examples. If you have a look at Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. What happened is that after Imam Rida sallallahu alayhi was passed away, he passed away. They came to the home of Imam al-Kadhim alayhi salam. They came to Medina. Now they want to know who is the Imam. The Shia, the scholars, the narrators of the Shia, they come to the house. They're sitting in the courtyard over there. And all of a sudden, the son, if I'm not mistaken, Abdullah ibn Musa ibn Ja'far, yani the uncle of Imam al-Taqi alayhi salam, he said, Ibn Rasulullah, it was announced over there, Ibn Rasulullah is coming, meaning him as well. So he came, and he was, they started to ask him some questions. Now, according to some narrations, they asked him about a certain hukum, and as we say in Gujarati, he messed up hukum. According to one narration that I remember, he was asked, if I'm not mistaken, that if a person were to say to his wife that I am divorcing you, multiplied by the number of stars. So what is the hukum over here? How many talaqs does this count as? So if my memory serves me well, he responded that then this is counted as many talaqs as the number of stars except the constellation of Gemini. Except the constellation of Gemini. So all the stars in the sky minus these stars, that's how many talaqs it will count as. Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam was over there. He got angry. And he told him, Ittaqillah ya am. Have fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not take a position that does not belong to you. They then asked the Imam alayhi salam. So the Imam responded that this would count as just one talaq. Okay. Then they asked him further questions. Now, in one source that I actually found, they actually in one gathering asked him 30,000 questions. Now, I was pondering over this. It's not possible to actually be able to ask in one gathering 30,000. It seems that there were many questions that were asked, but over a period of time, over a period of their stay in Medina. In all cases, the Imam alayhi salam answered these questions. But what about some of the other types of miracles? By the way, that reference to ilm al-ghayb, it's very important for us to know. When the second tier, or maybe even the first tier of wukala, would bring khums to the Imam alayhi salam, one of the covenants and agreements and understandings between the Imam and the deliverers, the couriers of the khums, was that the Imam would tell them even without having looked at the money, the sacks that were brought, the Imam would say, so and so has given you this much amount of khums in these types of coins, dirhams, dinars, whatever. So and so has given you these cloths. This was ilm al-ghaib. And today, unfortunately, so this is knowledge of the unseen. How can the Imam know? Unfortunately, today you have some people who haven't studied properly the lives of the Imams to see what they have. They say, no, how can it be possible for the Imam to know the unseen? Inna lillah. I mean, I would just truly invite them, leave aqa'id aside, just have a look at history. This is what they used to do, this is what they practice. Go through many Imams, and I found this about many Imams. When they would come, the Imam would actually tell them, this is what's going to happen. Now, even Imam al-Hujjah, sallallahu alayhi, what about the other side? On the other hand, you had the miracles of the Imam. Some of these I would like to mention for you. Why? So that you can truly know sometimes how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would let the virtue of the Imam show to people. In one of the narrations, it is mentioned that Ali ibn Khalid, one of the narrators, this is in Al-Kafi, by the way, in volume 1. Ali ibn Khalid narrates that when he was in Iraq, in Surra Man Ra'a, he says, كنت بالعسكر. I was in Samarra. It was called Al-Askar as well, because it was actually a garrison. A garrison is where an army camps. So it was an army city per se. So he was there. And فبلغني أن هناك رجلا محبوسا أتي به من ناحية الشام مكبولا وقال إنه تنبأ وقالوا إنه تنبأ. I came to hear news about a person who was brought from Sham shackled in iron, and they said that this person is claiming to be a prophet. So this narrator, Ali ibn Khalid, says that I came to the gate and I spoke to the gatekeepers of the prison over there, gave them something kind of, how are you doing? Keep this for you. Maybe you need this. Let me speak to that person if it's okay. So he came to the person and he started to speak with him. He says, فَإِذَا رَجُلٌ لَهُ فَهْمٌ وَعَقْلٌ. I found that this person that they're saying he's claiming to be a prophet is actually a very reasonable person, a very logical person. It's not possible for him to claim such a claim that he's a prophet. So he asked him, what's your story? He says, my story is as follows. I'm from Sham. In Damascus, I was in Masjid al-Umawi. There's a shrine for where the head of Imam Hussein was put. I was over there praying. I was reciting my salawat, etc. I was reciting dhikr. All of a sudden, I found there was a man who came in front of me. So, as I was doing so, the man came in front of me. He told me, stand up. So as I did that, we walked a little. All of a sudden, I found myself to be in Masjid al-Kufa. So that man asked me, do you know where this mosque is? What mosque this is? I responded, yes, I do. This is Masjid al-Kufa. So he prayed, and I also prayed with him. Then he walked out, and I walked out with him. We walked a little bit. All of a sudden, we were in Al-Masjid al-Nabawi. And over there, he said salam to the Holy Prophet. He recited ziyarah. And I myself recited ziyarah. And I myself as well also prayed. He prayed, and I also prayed with him. Then he went out, and I left as well. And we walked just a little bit. All of a sudden, I was in Mecca. We were in Mecca. So over there, we did the tawaf. And we also, according to another narration, we did the a'mal over there. Okay? So, manasik. Now, in that other narration, it says manasik. It could be that the Imam alayhi salam or the person who was with him, they actually did the manasik of Umrah. Allahu Alam. In all cases, they walked out after that from Mecca, from Al-Haram al-Makki. All of a sudden, I found myself to be exactly where I was in Sham, in Al-Masjid al-Umawi, next to the shrine of the head of Imam. And that person disappeared. So I myself remained totally astonished at what I'd actually seen. The next year, the same thing happened. I saw that person as I was doing my amal over there. And so he called me again. And he did the same thing with me that we did last year. Now, when he wanted to leave, I asked him, I swear to you by Allah, who gave you the power to do what you have just done? Tell me who you are. So the person responds, I am Muhammad ibn Ali ibn Musa ibn Ja'far ibn Muhammad ibn Ali ibn al-Husayn ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad wa ajil farajah. Now this news, it reached the authorities. This news, it reached the authorities. Maybe the same person, instead of remaining quiet, maybe he told them, another person kind of in good faith, and that other person told his wife and another few people in good faith as well. And the news, mashallah, it reached. Now in good faith, when the news, when the news reached to the authorities, they called this person. And when they called this person and they asked him and he said what he said, they shackled him and they brought him to Iraq. Now over there in Iraq, when news of his arrival had reached the person, the main governor over there, and his story was presented. So in the back of the letter that was given to that governor over there, Muhammad ibn Malik, Abdul Malik al-Ziyad, he responded, then tell that person to refer to the same person who took him around like that, to help him to release him. Huh? Because you're claiming that somebody helped you with Taqi al-Ard, such a miracle to go around, tell the same person to come and save you. Now when this narrator, he came to know about this, he became very sad. Slept at night, he said, listen, I'm going to go tomorrow over there. I'm going to console him that be patient. Inshallah, Allah will grant you salvation and whatnot. Khair, inshallah. Kind of console a person. The second day when he goes, he finds that there is commotion. There is commotion. There's a huge number of people gathered outside the prison. The guards are all in shock. The prison warden, etc., everybody. What's happened? This Shami person has disappeared. The shackles are there. The Shami person has disappeared. What's going on? So this can be considered to be one of the miracles. Now, of Imam Salamullah alayhi. And over here it is said, this Ali ibn Khalid, the narrator, before this event, he was Zaydi. But when he came to see one of the miracles of Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam, he became a Shia Ithna Ashari. And he believed in the Imam of Imam alayhi salam. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Now there's another miracle that's even more interesting than this, but inshallah we'll leave it for another occasion. Here I would like to refer to one of the debates that the Imam alayhi salam had. And of course there is a lot to be said about the life of Imam al-Jawad salamullah alayhi, because during this period he developed the system of wukala in order to reach a certain age of stage of maturity to be fit for purpose during ghaiba. And in essence, this was also preparing for the marja'iyah amongst the Shi'as during the ghaiba of our 12th Imam alayhi salam. Secondly, the fact that the Imam alayhi salam, he had a lot of debates and a lot of encounters with people who were from different orientations of thought, which were deviant, among the Mughalis, who would give special rank to Ahl al-Bayt that they actually don't have, in the sense that it is they who are, God forbid, lords, or they do whatever they want and Allah can't stop them, God forbid. Secondly, there were also amongst the people, there were the Mufawwida, that after Allah created, He gave them, the Imams alayhi salam, all authority to do whatever they want. And again, Allah He can't stop them, etc. There were different orientations. The Imam alayhi salam, he explained the truth, he gave the guidance to the Shias. The debates themselves, I believe that all of you must have heard one of the main debates that happened was when Al-Ma'mun Al-Abbasi was trying to kind of neutralize the anger that the Shia had towards him for murdering Imam al-Rida salamullah alayhi. And what he did is that he wanted to marry his daughter al-Fadl to Imam al-Jawad alayhi, Imam al-Taqi alayhi. Now, Banu al-Abbas, they were very afraid because they knew that this is the true household to whom Khilafah belongs. Now, if he's going to bring such a son-in-law, then they are going to be, these people, unfortunately, they don't have anything. They're worthless. They're ruthless. Oppressors. It's going to go. They're going to lose it. They told him, no, we're against this. And on the other hand as well, even the scholars from the other madhahib that were a part of his court, Yahya ibn al-Aktham and others, they were saying, no, he's too young and whatnot and this and that. Now, Al-Ma'mun, he actually knew what the basis of this household is, where their knowledge comes from. So they had this debate in which the Yahya ibn al-Aktham, of course, asked that famous question to Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam, that what is the diya of a person who kills, or the kafar of a person who kills a hunt or a game whilst in ihram? The Imam alayhi salam asked him so many follow-up questions that Yahya ibn al-Aktham said, I don't know. I don't know the answer to these follow-up questions, let alone the ahkam themselves. So please relieve me and relinquish me of that. You have heard about that. But there's another one that I would like to quote over here. In that, our Imam alayhi salam, there was a debate that happened. Yahya ibn al-Aktham, by the way, he was not a Shia. Al-Ma'mun al-Abbasi had inclination, I won't say love or even following Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salam, but he had inclination towards who? Towards Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salam. Now, with that, he still had Yahya ibn al-Aktham as his main mufti. And this was a person who was kind of like a Nasibi, per se. And he did not like Shias, he did not consider and believe in the grand stance of the Imams alayhimus salam. So based on that, what happened is that Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa Muhammad. There were many debates that happened between them. One of these debates was actually quite interesting. I don't know if some of you have heard it, but out of tabarruk, I'll mention it here. When Al-Ma'mun al-Abbasi married his daughter al-Fadl to Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam, okay, we had Abu Ja'far al-Thani, the second Abu Ja'far. The first Abu Ja'far is Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam. Second Abu Ja'far was a kunya Imam al-Rida alayhi salam gave to his son Imam al-Jawad salamullah alayhi when he was still very young. So Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam was also in that gathering. And there were many people. Yahya ibn al-Aktham was asking this question. ما تقول يا ابن رسول الله في الخبر الذي روي أنه نزل جبريل عليه السلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وقال يا محمد إن الله عز وجل يقرئك السلام ويقول لك سل أبا بكر هل هو عني راض فإني عنه راض. what do you say about the narration which says that Jibreel alayhi salam descended to the Holy Prophet and he told him that, "O Holy Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends and conveys his salam to you," and he asks you, ask Abu Bakr, is he happy with me because I'm happy with him? So Imam al-Jawad salamullahi alayhi, he responds as follows. In the beginning, of course, the Imam gives a diplomatic answer because, and I emphasize it's a diplomatic answer, okay? Because of the fact that the gathering was like this, it was sensitive, so as not to cause disunity, etc. The Imam says, I again emphasize, this was a tactical response. He says, I am not rejecting the virtue of Abu Bakr. Between quotation marks. ولكن يجب على صاحب هذا الخبر أن يأخذ مثال الخبر الذي قاله رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في حجة الوداع قد كثر علي الكذابة. However, what I am actually saying is that the person who has brought this narration needs to actually refer to the narration of the Holy Prophet, which he said in Hajjat al-Wada. What? That there are many people who are lying on me. They are belying, they are fabricating a hadith and ascribing them to me. Lies, they are ascribing lies to me. وَسَتَكْثُرُ بَعْدِي, and after me there will be even more people who are going to fabricate and attribute lies to me. فَمَنْ كَذَبَ عَلَيَّ مُتَعَمِّدًا, he who deliberately and knowingly ascribes a lie to me that I have not said, فَلْيَتَبَوَّأْ مَقْعَدَهُ فِي النَّارِ, then that person, they will on the day of Qiyamah, they will have their own place in Jahannam. فَإِذَا أَتَاكُمُ الْحَدِيثُ عَنِّي, if you have a hadith that reaches you from me, فَأَعْرِضُوهُ عَلَى كِتَابِ اللَّهِ, cast this hadith and present it to the Holy Quran according to the criteria of the Holy Quran and my Sunnah. If the hadith is conformant to both, it does not openly contradict. When we say contradict, it means that this is saying positive and that is saying negative. Contradict doesn't mean that the Quran is silent and the hadith is giving me something else, or that Quran is either more general or more specific and the hadith is either more general or more specific, yani either of the two. So this is more general, the hadith is specific, or the Quran is more specific, the hadith is more general. Not that. No. What he meant is that if either the Quran or Sunnah is saying this is not, and this new hadith says this is. This is what a contradiction means in fiqh. So if such a hadith comes to you, then this is the very first criteria. Present it to these two. فَمَا وَافَقَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَسُنَّةِ, that which conforms and agrees, is in harmony with these two, then accept it. وَمَا خَالَفَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ, that which goes against it in this way that I just explained, then no, do not accept it. وَلَيْسَ يُوَافِقُ هَذَا الْخَبَرِ, then the Imam comes and tells them, now this narration, O Yahya ibn al-Aktham, that you've just mentioned, of Jibril coming down and then saying Allah has said what? Ask Abu Bakr that, is he happy with me? This hadith, O Yahya ibn al-Aktham, Imam saying, does not conform with the Holy Quran. How so? He says, وَقَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ وَنَعْلَمُ مَا تُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسُهُ وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. The verse of the Holy Quran says the following, that we created the insan and we know what his nafs whispers to him, and we are closer to the human being than the jugular vein, in the sense that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is close to our souls. Whatever imagination, thought that you have in your mind, in your heart, Allah is that close to you. He knows and He sees everything. So Imam continues, فَاللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ خفي عليه رضا أبا بكر من سخطه حتى سأل عن مكنون سره هذا مستحيل. He's saying, is it that what was in the heart of Abu Bakr, whether he was pleased or displeased with Allah, was it that this was concealed from Allah, that Allah would have to ask the Holy Prophet, go please check up with Abu Bakr, is he happy, is he okay, is he like or not like? Is that possible? The Imam says this is impossible. Impossible. So thereafter, Yahya ibn al-Aktham gives one more hadith, and with this inshallah I'll end. That what about the other narration which says, أن مثل أبا بكر وعمر في الأرض, the parable, the example of Abu Bakr and Umar on earth, كمثل جبرائيل وميكائيل في السماء, is like the parable and example of Jibreel and Mikael in skies. They have such a high status. By the way, most of these hadith were fabricated by Muawiyah and during his time. They are all fabrications. Look at what the Imam alayhi salam says. It's not me bringing from my pocket. The Imam sallallahu alayhi says the following. And you can take this as a criteria in judging many of these hadith. The Imam says, وَهَذَا أَيْضًا يَجِبُ أَنْ يُنظَرَ فِيهِ. This also needs to be contemplated. This hadith also needs us to contemplate about it. Look at the beautiful wordings of the Imam. Huh? He doesn't say, what are you bringing me lies and whatnot. He says, this hadith also needs to be contemplated about and looked at. How so? He says, لِأَنَّ جِبْرَائِيل وَمِيكَائِيل مَلَكَانِ لِلَّهِ. These are two angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Muqarraban, these are amongst the archangels, the highest ranking of angels. Lam ya'asi Allah qat, they have never disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Never for a second, for a moment. وَهُمَا قَدْ أَشْرَكَا بِاللَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَ. But these two gentlemen that you just mentioned, they were actually polytheists before accepting Islam. They had ascribed partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if they had embraced Islam after being polytheist. However, وَكَانَ أَكْثَرُ أَيَّامِهِمَا فِي الشِّرْكِ بِاللَّهِ. The majority of their days were actually they were actually polytheists for the majorities of their lives, for the most part of their lives. فَمُحَالٌ أَن يُشَبِّهَهُمَا بِهِمَا. So it is impossible for the Holy Prophet to compare these two gentlemen with those two angels. It's impossible. So again, our friend Yahya ibn al-Aktham would have to be quiet. This, unfortunately, led to a lot of jealousy, and it was during one of these unfortunate debates with the hasad that had grown in the hearts of these people that the Imam sallallahu alayhi was constantly defeating, that they plotted against the life of the Imam alayhi salam. Respected mu'mineen, mu'minat, at the end of this lecture, again, we extend the warmest expressions of happy congratulations to the Imam of our time, and of course we do so to each other as well, on the birth of our Imam Salamullah alayhi, Imam al-Jawad, the most generous Imam Salamullah alayhi, buried in Baghdad, who through his shafa', through his tawassul, we can achieve a lot. And he is known as Jawad, as the one who is very, very generous of giving, because of the fact that this was the practice of the Imams alayhi salam. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the wasita of Imam al-Jawad salamullah alayhi, to accept our love for Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, to forgive our sins, to fulfill our hajat, to grant shifa to all of our sick, to avert this oppression against our brothers in Palestine and in different parts of the world from the oppressors, and hasten the reappearance of our 12th Imam, بحق محمد وآل محمد. صلى الله على محمد وآل محمد.
کا نے جو میری تعریف دی اس کا میں قابل اتنا نہیں ہوں. ماشاءاللہ آپ کے ہال میں تو بہت پڑھنے والے ذاکر حسین ہیں. ہم علی والے ہیں اور انشاءاللہ علی والے تا قیامت رہے گے. محمد وال محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. اپنے روزے پہ ہم کو بلا لیجئے یا امام تقی، یا امام تقی. یوں میرے درد دل کی دوا دیجئے یا امام تقی، یا امام تقی. اپنے روزے پہ ہم کو بلا لیجئے یا امام تقی، یا امام تقی. مجھ کو اذن حضور کو بغیر کرام اپنی آنکھوں سے چومو در محترم، اپنی آنکھوں سے چومو در محترم. میرا سویا مقدر جگا دیجئے یا امام تقی، یا امام تقی. اپنے روزے پہ ہم کو بلا لیجئے یا امام تقی، یا امام. آپ کے شعر کی روشنی دیکھ لو، موت سے پہلے زندگی دیکھ لو، موت سے پہلے زندگی دیکھ لو. خواب تعبیر سب اب ملا دیجئے یا امام تقی، یا امام تقی. اپنے روزے پہ ہم کو بلا لیجئے یا امام تقی، یا امام تقی. پاک دل کی مراد سوال گیا، آپ کے در سے کوئی نہ کھالی گیا، آپ کے در سے کوئی نہ کھالی گیا. ہم گنہگار کو بخشوا دیجئے یا امام تقی، یا امام تقی. اپنے روزے پہ ہم کو بلا لیجئے یا امام تقی. شاہ لولاک کا واسطہ آپ کو، پنجتن پاک کا واسطہ آپ کو، پنجتن پاک کا واسطہ آپ کو. جو ہے بیمار ان کو شفا دیجئے یا امام تقی، یا امام تقی. اپنے روزے پہ ہم کو بلا یا امام تقی، یا امام تقی. یوں میرے در کے دل کی دوا دیجئے یا امام تقی، یا امام تقی. اپنے روزے پہ ہم کو بلا لیجئے یا امام تقی، یا امام تقی. افضل السلام محمد وآل محمد. الہی ببیمار داشت بلا، جو بیمار ہو جلد پاوے شفا. الہی براہ امام زمان ہمیں حول محشر سے دے تو امان قیامت کا معشور ہوگا علیہ اٹھے قبر سے کہ ہم یا علی ہے 5 و 9 مل چہار دتان احمد و علی زہرا و حسن شبیر سے لے تا امام زمان شبیر سے لے تا امام زمان ایک ایک پہ صدا صلوات پڑھو صلوات السلام یا امام زمان فرماؤ ظہور یا امام زمان صلوات
صلی اللہ علیہ یا رسول اللہ، السلام علیکہ یا نبی اللہ، السلام علیکہ یا ابا القاسم یا محمد ابن عبد اللہ، السلام علیکہ یا وسیع رسول رب العالمین، السلام علیکہ یا سید الوسیین، السلام علیکہ یا ابا العمہ یا امیر المؤمنین علی ابن ابی طالب، السلام علیک یا قرۃ عین الرسول، السلام علیک یا زوجۃ امیر المؤمنین، السلام علیک یا ام العمہ یا فاطمۃ الزہراء سیدۃ نساء العالمین، السلام علیک یا ابا محمد یا حسن ابن علی ایھا المجتبی ابن رسول اللہ، السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیک یا ابا عبد اللہ وعلی الارواح التي حلت بفنائک علیک منی جمیعا سلام اللہ ابدا ما بقیت وبقی اللیل والنہار ولا جعلہ اللہ آخر العہد منی لزیارتکم، السلام علی الحسین وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين، السلام عليك يا أبا الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا زينب الكبرى وأم كلثوم، السلام علیک یا رقیہ بنت الحسین، السلام علیکم جمیعا شہداء کربلا و اسراء کوفہ و شام ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیک یا ابا الحسن یا علی ابن الحسین زین العابدین، السلام علیک یا ابا جعفر یا محمد ابن علی الباقر، السلام علیک یا ابا عبد اللہ یا جعفر ابن محمد الصادق، السلام علیک یا ابا الحسن یا موسیٰ ابن جعفر الکاظم، السلام علیک یا ابا الحسن یا علی ابن موسیٰ الرضا، السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، حضور سیدی و مولاي یا محمد ابن علی النیابۃ امام زمانہ وجميع المؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات قربة إلى الله تعالى، السلام عليك يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها التقي الجواد يا ابن رسول الله ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك يا ولي الله، السلام عليك يا حجة الله، السلام عليك يا نور الله في الظلمات الأرض، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك وعلى آبائك، السلام عليك وعلى أبنائك، السلام عليك وعلى أوليائك، أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وتلوت الكتاب حق تلاوته وجاهدت في الله حق جهاده وصبرت على الأذى في جنبه حتى أتاك اليقين أتيتك ظاهرا عارفا بحقك ومواليا لأوليائك معاد لأعدائك فاشفع لي عند ربك يا مولاي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن محمد هادي النقي. السلام عليك أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها الزكي العسكري. السلام عليك يا حجة الله في الأرض يا مولانا يا صاحب العصر والزمان. الأمان الأمان من فتن آخر الزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن ويا وارث القرآن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك وجعل الله من أنصارك وعوانك وشيتك ومحبيك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma kum yalika hujjatit mir Hassan sa'atika alayhi wa ala abai fi hadhi sati wa fi kulli sa loya wa hafiza wa qaida wa nasra ودولينا وعينا حتى تسكنه وزكاة